49 years ago today, June 7th, 1977, about 3 hours ago, I gave birth to our first child on June 7th, 1977. Tara Lauren Moore. We had no idea how much she had to teach us. So here we are, 15 years we had her on this physical realm, and she was our joy. And 34 years she's been guiding us from the other side. How blessed we are. What I remember is when she was just a little tiny girl, she would have a band of imaginary friends. And we'd have to open the car door and let each one of them in. Are they in yet? Are they in yet? Are they in yet? And I learned that those imaginary friends were her angels. It was several years later that Tara became really interested in angels. And the book, Messengers of Light, The Angel's Guide to Spiritual Growth, became her little Bible. And she carried it everywhere she went, and she had notes in it and wrote all over it. That was the book that was featured on the NBC primetime special, Angels, the Mysterious Messengers, which was viewed by 35 million people. We happened to be on that special too, because the author of that book, Terry Lynn Taylor, had heard about our little tiny angel shop in San Juan Capistrano. And she had sent the producers of that show to visit us and meet us and find out our story of angels and miracles. And I had no idea 35 million people watched that thing until I read it last night when I looked up the book. But anyway, we're here to talk about the angels that are always present. Because angels are not just messengers of God. Hildegard of Bingen, the amazing 13th century abbess and mystic, and just a woman of talent beyond measure, said that angels are living light. They surround God in their glowing fire. We know they're messengers of God's goodness. Angels are the messengers of God, and we know from personal experience, and many of you have had that too, angels are everywhere all the time for all of us. But they bring us new ideas, new wisdom. They bring us inspiration and intuition and insight and inspiration. They're there for us always. We simply need to awaken to them. Now, Ernest Holmes might have called this divine guidance or infinite intelligence because, you know, when we have a new bright idea, we say, oh, the light just turned on, right? Don't we say that? Oh my gosh, the light turned on. Angels are always the light. They bring that. They're God's messengers for us. So when we're talking about shine your light, own your own light today, because as Marianne said so beautifully, the light is within us. There's not a time when that light is distinguished. It can be covered up, it can be hidden, but it's always there. I want to tell you, this is all spiritual traditions talk about angels and light, and angels as divine messengers, as protection, as comfort, as illumination. And that light that they bring. Listen, the priest Matthew Fox, who was expelled from the Catholic Church because he believed not in original sin, but original blessing. He believed that life is blessed and we are blessed. Isn't that good? We believe that. We are blessed. We are born in blessing. We don't believe in the other. So there you go. He said to talk of creation is to talk about light, because all of creation began from a little tiny, smaller than a pinpoint of light, a little fireball that it took a while, but it got hotter and hotter and exploded into that big bang of light that created everything. As you were saying, Marianne, everything. It created the universe, the planet, the stars, the plants, the animals, and us. So we are made of light, and that's what we need to recognize and know. We have to own that light. Each light is unique and special, and it is needed in the world. Each light There isn't a light that's exactly like any other. Every single light we have is needed. Now, the physicist David Bohm said all matter, everything, is frozen light. Music is light. He said light is everywhere and in everything. We can't get away from it. But we try to push it away sometime because, as Marianne Williamson, it's not our, what was her word? It's not, our deepest fear is not that we're inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It's our light that frightens us most, not our darkness. And that's what we want this month, to just open up to the light that's there. Ernest Holmes said the best thing we can do is to believe that the divine presence within us is greater than any condition. Now, I don't know what you walked in the door with this morning. There's a lot of pain in the world. There's suffering in the world. There's goodness and beauty and joy in the world. So I don't know what load you were carrying or what gift you were holding this morning. But we have the power to know that within us there is the answer. You know, when we're awakened in the light, it can show us the way, right? That light can show us. It can guide us. Not the whole stairway, not the whole path, but it can show us one step at a time. But when we're in the darkness can show us the stars, can show us the possibilities. And when Marianne walked in today, and the reason we had two beautiful readings today is because two beautiful, beautiful practitioners thought they were practicing the presence today. So there's room for everybody. But I said, Marianne, okay. And she said, I thought I was doing it. She said, this is a special day for me because it's my wedding anniversary. And Marianne lost a special person in her life. And I said, well, this is Tara's birthday too. And we lost a special person in our life. So this happens to be a really special day. So we wanted you to share, and then I would never miss Barbara's Rumi. So I said, kick off the talk today, Barbara, thank you. Because Rumi, yeah, thank you both. So perfect. And I said, what a problem to have, people that care so much. You know, what a problem. What a good problem. So David Bohm said that. And then Jesus said in the Gospel of Thomas, if they say to you, where are you from? Say to them, we're from the light. Jesus knew not only are we from the light, but that all of us will return to that unified field of light where we know oneness and goodness and joy. And then we get to be creativity. We get to be kindness. We get to be all those things when we join together and have learned those lessons. We return to that light. And then John O'Donohue said, we're always on a journey from darkness into light. We started in darkness in our mother's womb where we grew. And our first journey from darkness to light was our birth. And then every moment since then, our mind has lived in darkness. And when we get a spark of light, an insight, a thought, it comes to light. It comes out in the world. And that's what we're continually doing, bringing those things into life. And light keeps life awake. It keeps life awake. We tend to dim our light because of fear. Fear happens when we're more attached to our small self. Many of us weren't taught to shine our light. We weren't taught to put focus on ourselves. Well, the difference between our ego light and our spiritual light is that our ego say, yeah, I'm shining my light better than you are. You know, I'm the best. I'm this. That's what our ego will do. But our spirit says, I am a vessel for the light. I'm shining my light as a gift. This is my calling. This is what I'm meant to do. And each one of us have a special light and a special gift to shine. And that's the difference. We are all here to do and shine that light. Hafez, the other beautiful Sufi mystic, said, I wish I could show you. I wish I could show you. when you are lonely, in darkness, or uninspired, the astonishing light of your being. Wow. We wonder how in the world, when that light seems so far away, do you ever feel like that? Am I the only one that can't plug into the light sometimes, Where is it? Where, it's gone, it's out. Oh no, I've lost, no. We haven't lost the light. We've just lost the way to the light. I mean, what the angels teach us is light isn't something we have to go after. It's innate within us, and it has to be allowed the space through grace and acceptance to be revealed. And that's what we need to do, to find that way to get to it. So how do we get to the light? That's a good question. Ernest Holmes says, well, every spiritual master, every teacher says, we need to spend every day, sometime every day in meditation, where we just shut out the noise of this outer world and go within. And sometimes, the mind is going, put those thoughts down on waterfalls or whatever you do to get the thoughts out. And sometimes it takes a few minutes, a half hour, an hour, a couple of hours, whatever, to get to that place where we can find in that darkness, we can touch the light, where we can touch it and know it's there. So it comes in stillness. In the Psalms it says, be still and know that I am God. Just hold that thought for a moment. Be still and know that I am God. That's a way to get to that light. Another way is through letting go of the attachments we have. Either it can be the attachments of, I have to get this done right now. I have to do this in here. I have to have this. That strong attachments that not allowing the mystery, not allowing the softness and the gentleness to flow. Or it's the lack of, Jesus said, forgive 70 times 7. Let it go, because we want that space for the light to shine. The wise philosopher Mark Twain said, forgiveness is the fragrance that the violet sheds on the heel that crushed it. I'll read that one more time because it's really beautiful. Forgiveness is the fragrance that the violet sheds on the heel that has crushed it. So through stillness, through forgiveness and letting go, also seeing the divine in everything. If you cannot see God in all, you cannot see God at all. That's what Guru Nanak said. Guru Nanak founded that beautiful religion of Sikhism. See, if you have met the people of the Sikh faith, they are the kindest, softest, most gentle people. When Dr. Jim and I used to go to prayer meetings, they held them many at Mission Hospital and different places. They'd have the different faiths stand up, and I remember when the Sikhs came up to speak, such beautiful people. And he created this religion because he had a flash from God, and he just knew what he had to do. And there's only really 3 tenets he has. And the first tenet is meditate every day. Meditate all the time, so your mind and heart are always with God. Number 2, his second tenet was earn an honest living. Earn an honest living by hard work. We're here to work in life, to do our part. So the first 2 was stillness and earn an honest living by hard work. And last is share your blessings. That's simple. That's all it was, to do those things and be in alignment with spirit. Melody Beattie, I don't know if any of you have had any codependent relationships besides me. That was one of the first books I read, and we carried it in our angel store, and very important, is Codependent No More. She says this, life is messy. It's complicated. It doesn't happen neatly the way it does in books and movies. And yet, when we give up the need to know how everything will work out, when we give up the need to know how everything will work out, what we're willing to say is, I don't know. Then we step into the unknown, and that's when we find the magic. That's because we've opened the space. We've opened the door. We've opened something for spirit and light to both be received and to be shared. You know, Ernest Holmes says we are an inlet and an outlet to God, to spirit, to light, to love. We're that. We're good. We can do that. Yay. And once we have really found and owned and start igniting and radiating our own light, we know that our gift is to illuminate others. Now, Kirk and Gretchen, if you could come up, please. There's a page that is in a book that I don't have called Help for Today. And it was a book written by Ernest Holmes and William Hornaday, known as Dr. Bill. William Hornaday, Dr. Bill, was the minister at the Founders Church in Los Angeles, and he had 7,000 congregants. He was a protege of Ernest Holmes and many other people. But they wrote this book called Help for Today. I really want us to own this, so if you'll just put your feet on the floor. To be still with me. Whatever is going on in your heart and your mind right now, there is a light, there is a love, there is a candle that wants to shine brightly to remind you of the gift that you are and to be the reflection of that goodness for others. I will read this now. Let us light the candle of kindness, forgiveness, and understanding in our own soul. Let it shine so brightly right here and now. Let us not focus on the darkness because it is so foreboding and unknown. Rather, let us remain steadfast in the radiance of the spiritual light of truth within ourselves. Let us stand guard so that the winds of malice, cross purposes, ignorance, or misunderstanding will not blow out our light. Let us live each day that the light from our candle of spiritual knowledge will forever be clear and understood, not only by ourselves, but by all with whom we come in contact. Let us practice blessings and thinking kindly about others, about ourselves, realizing that all people are actually doing the best they know how to do. And no matter what, the answer is love. No matter what, the answer is love. And just join me in this moment as we bring forward anything in our lives right now where we feel restricted, where we're choosing to dim ourselves instead of letting our light shine so brightly. I know in this moment, as we acknowledge and understand that we're on this journey with God, with Spirit, with love at every moment, that we have the possibility and the power right here in this moment to open ourselves to a greater understanding, a brighter light, a knowing, to be guided to the next step, the next way right here and right now. So that place in us that was dim, we let that candle that we just heard about, the candle of inner knowing, spiritual knowledge, we let that light our way, fill our being with light, fill our heart with light, our mind with light, our entire self with light, Know that healing light that is love, that is light, is also the healing power that can heal our mind about any situation, that can heal our body, that can heal our situations. We are here empowered, enlightened, and guided. How good it is to be together. How good it is to know this truth for ourselves and for others as well. We are certainly blessed, and so it is. And now, Lois, if we could have on our screen, please, the call and response. Oh, it's here already. So I'm going to ask a question, and then we're going to do this slowly. I'd like you to answer what's in yellow. Who are you?
I am a radiant expression of spirit.
What lies within you?
The light of divine love.
What will you do with that light?
I will own it, share it, and let it shine.
Okay, now you've found it. I want you to let it be and do its work.